Hello and thanks for joining us. This is the Signature 30 Minutes. I am Damilola Abudu. In the headlines, as Nigeria battles increasing number of COVID-19 cases, the Red Cross warns on the dangers of false information that COVID-19 does not exist in Nigeria. Chinese authorities detain 80 persons for producing fake COVID-19 vaccines. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo says, "It is time Nigeria allowed state police." And now the details. The Nigerian Red Cross says the communication gap between the government and Nigerians' grassroots population is creating a challenge in the management of COVID-19 in the country. The Kano State Branch Secretary, the Red Cross, Tony Udegbu, said the situation has created a difficulty in convincing people at the grassroots that COVID-19 is real. Signature TV correspondent Michael Ilediago filed this report from Enugu. As a necessary step to close the communication gap, the branch secretary said that a conscious effort should be made to teach and emphasize the risk factors and improve community engagement in the campaign against the second wave of COVID-19. He told Signature TV that people in the rural communities and many suburban settlements still believe and communicate the false information that COVID-19 does not exist in Nigeria.
They believe that it is not true. It's a major challenge we are having. And I think that idea is coming because of the mistrust between the government and those they are leading. So, but the erroneous impression is being corrected on a daily basis. So the issue is not dissemination of information or that they have not had it. They've all had it. But the issue is making them believe that this is real.
He said that as a humanitarian organization, the Red Cross is a major frontliner in the fight against COVID-19, warning that ignoring the protocols on COVID-19 could spell disaster for communities.
The Red Cross Society have been involved from day one. They are one of the frontliners in the battle. And their major preoccupation have been on contact tracing and risk communication. If you see what is happening in the European countries and America, you notice that COVID is not something you should play with. So we just have no option than to obey the protocols. That's the way out. I want to say that COVID is real. COVID is real, and the earlier we accept that, the better for us.
The Enugu branch of the Nigerian Red Cross has trained 20 volunteers drawn from Enugu North, Enugu East, and Kano West local governments on risk communication and community engagement as part of efforts to bridge the knowledge gap on COVID-19. The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has approved the clinical trial of ivermectin drug for the prevention and treatment of COVID-19 infection in the state. Sanwo-Olu made this known in a statement on the update of COVID-19 in the state on Sunday. The governor said the state government was aware of numerous international claims that the broad-spectrum antiparasitic medication, ivermectin, has shown some efficacy in acting as a sustained prophylaxis in containing or inhibiting the causative cause in SARS-CoV-2. Speaking further, Sanwo-Olu said the state government would not charge patients who need oxygen. The governor said the Lagos State was working hard to ensure oxygen supply met and surpassed the demand, noting that the state was on the verge of delivering its second oxygen plant at the Gbagada General Hospital. Corruption in securing government jobs and as unemployment rises has become an issue of concern and national conversation in Nigeria. But what are the consequences to this? Signature TV correspondent sampled the opinion of some Abuja residents on this.
The challenge that this poses for us as a people and as a country is that you will now have a situation whereby merits will now be sacrificed on the altar of cash and carry, on the altar of naira. And you have a situation whereby people that are duly qualified for a particular job will not have the opportunity to ascend to that job because perhaps they might not know a big man out the defect of corruption, insecurity jobs in Nigeria is the reason why Nigeria is still underdeveloped and Nigeria is still not having, the right policy execution. We might have the right policy documents, but policy documents without accurate execution matters, will amount to nothing. And so for us, I think the effect is very, very clear to us. It's glaring, it's staring at us on a daily basis because the basic infrastructure that the country deserves to run or requires to run is not available.
The right persons are not being picked for those jobs. So and what happened then is that the wrong people are in the system. So and the same way they came in, they also try to get their money back also by collecting money from people also to employ them when they come to that position. So we discovered that the wrong people are being employed, to handle our institutions. And that is why you are seeing decay in our systems.
Institutional check, which would have come from the legislature, that is the National Assembly for the federal, and the state assemblies for the states, are no longer there. So why nations fail is when you have extractive elitist tendency like we have seen in Nigeria. You are talking of employment, but there are those who are more or less employed one way or the other, or what we call now placement from loose ends. And EFCC and ICPC, like the immigration tragedy we talked about, they didn't go there because it affected men in high places. So when you have such a lopsided society, like we are into now, where everybody is on his own, security has collapsed, you cannot think of any institution that is working, then there's a big problem.
But right now, to get federal government work, my brother, hence you don't have that long ahead there, you will not succeed.
It's quite worrisome that we find ourselves in such a situation where government job is not secured based on merit. It's based on who you know. And that has indeed increased the rate of crime in our society. You see, people no longer have confidence in the government as a result of that. Because regardless of your grade, your qualification, your ability, what you are able to offer, that it doesn't really count if you don't know anybody in government.
The former Minister of Health, Professor Onyebuchi Chukwu, has urged the national leaders to be selfless in their fight against the coronavirus pandemic. Speaking in an interview with a signature show on AIT, Professor Chukwu criticized the insensitivity on the part of some political leaders who displayed themselves on social media while receiving the COVID-19 vaccine. He termed the public display as lack of emotional and social intelligence.
We travel a lot, and because our leaders are the ones who travel more, they don't want to be too stringent on travel. If it were poor people who were traveling, by now they were saying nobody should be passing through the airport. But of course, they travel more, so it's actually a step, which is again where I come that sometimes as leaders, we may also have to bury sometimes our own interest, for the good of the whole country. And then you can even see a few people who are in leadership positions today, or even their husbands are in leadership position. Yes, you have inherent intrinsic human rights, your own basic human right, to go to any corner of the world and get anything. But don't rub it in the face when you're a leader. Someone like me, if for any reason I find myself in UK, and they say, okay, because of your age, because of blah, 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 you should also go and get this vaccine. And I get the vaccine, I will not make a video of it. Because it will be insulting to our people. Up till now, Nigerians are not even sure when they will get the vaccine. And then I'll get it in another country, when I'm part of the leadership of this country, and I'll be flaunting it. Are we crazy? That means I don't have any emotional intelligence. I don't have a social intelligence. Are we crazy? You are rubbing it in the face of your own people who you are supposed to have provided that.
Provided it for.
That we're sorry, you can't afford to travel. So otherwise, but I have it.
Nigerians have reacted to the COVID-19 new rule signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari. The new rule mandated the compulsory use of nose masks in public places by Nigerians and also stipulated punishment for the defaulters. Signature TV correspondent Obi Chibueze went to the streets of Abuja and sampled the reactions of the residents.
Face mask is very, very important. Face mask is very good. It's to prevent you from the virus and other viruses.
Many Nigerians as well, as in they are not complying because they don't believe that there is coronavirus in Nigeria.
I think face mask is something that is good, and there is coronavirus. But coronavirus, not that, much. It is not going to be conservatives in Nigeria, because the ratio of our weather is not the same as the ratio of the outside country.
Nigerians, they have to buy the idea. You understand? Because we need to help ourselves. Do you understand now? Just like you're putting on your own, I'm putting on my own. Do you understand? If we do that, I think we'll be able to reduce this COVID-19 spread to the barest minimum.
That's a good one, because the COVID-19 is a global pandemic. Countries who have low numbers of COVID-19 actually were operating 100%, applying the precautions like face masks and what have they. So if we can actually do that, it will help the economy to continue.
These nose masks, apart from the disease itself, the COVID-19 that came out, it helps in so many things. I came to realize, initially I find it difficult, but I came to realize that, especially at this period, that there are so many things flying, it helps you a lot. So if you are doing it for your own self, not for anybody, not for the government.
The Kano State Governor, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, has inaugurated COVID-19 marshals in his efforts to curb the spread of the virus in the state. The marshals, numbering 2,000 and made up of 1,000 Ishbal officials and 1,000 health workers, have been engaged to assist security agents in the state in the enforcement and persuasion of strict compliance of COVID-19 protocols. Speaking during the formal launch of the marshals, which was held at the Government House on Sunday, Ganduje said COVID-19 is back, and therefore the state government is also back to fight it to the end. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has thrown his weight behind the call for state police, saying the country is ripe for such a change. While insisting that there were different views on restructuring, he said there was the need for devolution of powers, responsibilities, and resources to allow for healthy competition among states. Obasanjo stated this on Sunday during a virtual interview. However, during the interview, Obasanjo supported a statement credited to the governor of Taraba State, Darius Ishaku, that the state would know no peace until it instituted state police. The presidency on Monday said that President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration would never tamper with press freedom in the country. The president's spokesman, Femi Adesina, said this while responding to an allegation that the government shut down an online news platform, People's Gazette. Adesina, who refuted the claims, said the present government would never tamper with the independence of the media. According to Adesina, the current government has never clamped down on the media and will not do so. Judicial proceeding was on Monday brought to a halt at the premises of the Osun State High Court, Oshogbo, due to the directive that judicial workers below grade 12 should work from home. The State Chief Justice Adepele Ojo had issued a statement through the court Chief Registrar Adebayo Lasisi, directing the court offices to be closed until further notice in compliance with the new COVID-19 protocols as released by the state government. The statement had also directed all judicial workers in the state to undergo COVID-19 tests immediately, adding that the state government was gracious enough to be conducting the tests free of charge. As a result of the directive, judicial activities have been brought to a halt, and judicial workers who had resumed for work were seen finding their way out of the court premises. The Oodua People's Congress, OPC, has pledged support for the Southwest Security Outfit, popularly known as Amotekun. In a statement issued by the group's publicity secretary, Yinka Oguntimehin, OPC expressed optimism that the security outfit would help in curbing crimes in the region. Oguntimehin applauded the leadership of Amotekun over their recent effort in restating peace in some parts of Oyo and Ondo State. He expressed hope that the achievement and dedication of Amotekun would curtail all security challenges facing the southwest. Oguntimehin also urged the southeast leaders to support the Nnamdi Kanu's-led security outfit, the Eastern Security Network. He urged the southeast governors to emulate their western counterparts in the issue of insecurity emanating from herdsmen farmers' crisis in the country. And now, the stock market report. As the month of February begins, investors lost 28.6 billion naira at the close of business on Monday, after 5 days of consecutive gain last week. The equity capitalization fell from 22.18 trillion naira to 22.15 trillion naira, a 28.6 billion naira loss. Consequently, the all-share index closed at 42,357.9 points, a reduction from 22,412.66 points traded on Friday. The volume of stocks traded were 586.8 million, valued at 6 billion naira in 7,497 deals. The activity chart showed 35 gainers against 28 losers at the close of trading. Honey flour was the highest gainer, while Realex topped the loser side. Shares in financial sector were the most traded. Zenith Bank, GT Bank, and First Bank Holding dominated the chart with about 21 million shares changing hands. The Chinese authorities on Monday detained 80 people on suspicion of producing counterfeit coronavirus vaccines. Report says that those detained are alleged to have been bottling saline solution to sell as vaccine since September. A total of 3,000 vaccine doses were confiscated, with raids taking place in several locations across the country. China has developed a number of its own vaccines. The Beijing government has set a goal of vaccinating 50 million people by mid-February. Before we end the news, a recap of the headlines again. As Nigeria battles increasing number of COVID-19 cases, the Red Cross warns on the dangers of false information. Chinese authorities detained 80 persons for producing fake COVID-19 vaccines. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo says it is time Nigeria allowed state police. Please stay safe, maintain physical and social distance, and wear a face mask while going about your daily activities. That's the signature 30 minutes. On behalf of my producer, Obamanu Marvelous, I am Damilola Abudu. Thanks for watching.